Okay, sketchy weather today again as it's cloudy. I guess it's kind of fitting because I still don't know what's going on with the phone. I guess we'll find out later on, huh? And with that in mind, what did I read today? How about this one, where it relates to that ostrich farm here in BC, as you know, where apparently they want to cull about 400 ostriches because they claim they're all carrying, for example, avian flu or something like that, despite owners and others saying they want to test them, but they're not allowed to. And as you know, there was some drama about RCMP drones flying around the area, scaring birds. So there was various videos, and you can see the protesters, for example, stating how because of the RCMP drones flying low and all that, it panicked the whole flock of birds, and as a result, there was a stampede, and some of them were actually getting injured. So the claim is one ostrich actually got a broken leg because of this, and a bunch of them are actually suffering from dehydration because, again, it doesn't seem like the actual owners have control of the area despite what happened before.
Okay, so they want to have you come in at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Will that work for you?
No,
What?
actually, the birds,
That bird's going to be dead, Ben.
That 1 o'clock tomorrow doesn't work, sir.
Today's not going to work for them, but they said...
Today's
Sorry,
going
Your
to
Honor.
Just wait, quiet down, please.
So it brings up that point again. Do people like the RCMP here in Canada have any kind of responsibility to, let's just say, quote, fly their drones safely in this regard? Because they're not supposed to actually kill the ostrich yet and so forth because of all this legal stuff. But at the same time, should they not be taking more precautions where if they know this is scaring the birds and so forth and they're running into things, getting hurt to the point where they are, quote, being killed, will they actually be held responsible or no? And just to reaffirm, despite, for example, there being a court order saying the cull itself has to be stopped, apparently the CFIA has not actually fully left the area. As you see, they're still setting up and so forth, and they pretty much have control where the owners can't just go up themselves in general without permission and so forth to actually feed the animals.
We need a video.
No, that has to be absolutely.
And we need the feds over here
Why?
knowing
What
that
is
a
the
federal
problem?
policy-
Okay, wait, okay, stop. You know what? Let's take the tiny win we have here. They will take it
You want to do
in.
that now?
Let's tell them what to do. There's 2 holes.
Which of course raises the topic here, are they actually not taking care of the ostriches to the point where they are going to die for whatever reason? Malnutrition, for example? Either way, this story just keeps getting crazier each time, huh? And still with that topic of drone, I'm surprised this is still a story. It relates to that soccer scandal, as you guys know, where apparently Team Canada used a drone to spy on Team New Zealand before. And here, this one says, Canada Soccer disciplines another 14 staff members after Olympic drone scandal. Like, what's going on now, huh? It says, Canada Soccer has disciplined 14 coaches and administrative staff in the wake of the Paris Olympic drone spying scandal that cost coach Bev Priestman and 2 of her staff their jobs. The governing body disclosed the news in an update this week following a meeting of its board of directors, but did not identify the employees involved or disclose the exact nature of the sanctions, saying, quote, we can't elaborate on those details for privacy reasons, but what we can say is that the breadth of discipline reflected how the issue pervaded multiple aspects of the organization to varying degrees over several years. Canada Soccer said in a separate statement Saturday, we sought to understand the root causes from a cultural perspective. We have since put in place measures to ensure these cultural shortfalls do not happen again. I guess it's kind of like that thought where this wasn't, I guess, an isolated incident. They just didn't decide one day, okay, let's fly this drone. There's probably a lot of stuff happening, I guess, internally in the organization, kind of like a corporation where people would argue it starts from the top. For whatever reason, people tell people to do certain things that are very questionable, so they're kind of uncovering that, I guess, anyways. But with how much story there is about this, you'd think this has something to do with murder or war, for example. I guess still nowadays everything's a much bigger deal when a drone's involved, huh?
Man, can you change back to the old one?
I can, but I have to charge the labor.
Well, I still don't get it. It's broken only for 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, it's something we already discussed.
I have to spend $300 for this.
Well, you just have to be careful. And next time. It's not just with the device.
I just left it in my room.
I get it. Yeah, if it's broken, it's broken. And when I give it to you, it was tested. We showed it to you. Alan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go check it out.
Okay. What happened? Was it bad? Because you were going to give me a call, you said, right, at 1 o'clock or so?
Yeah. We didn't have any news around 2
Okay.
o'clock. I'm gonna see. I had it left on charge to
Yeah.
see if it ever shows.
Does it actually still do the boot up stuff right now?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't even boot up at all now? How come?
I switched it back to the older part. Remember the charging port?
Okay, so what's going on in general with the phone? It was kind of interesting too with that lady that was there where the person claimed they only had that tablet or something for 2 days and it broke. That's kind of crazy. So it's kind of interesting as I was asking for an update because he actually said he was going to phone me earlier, but he didn't. And so when I went in, he just said he didn't because there was no update. And I asked at first whether or not the phone still, for example, just boots up repeatedly, but now he says it actually doesn't because he actually removed, I guess, the little piece that he added before just as a test. And so he's suggesting that I just leave it there for another day or two as they figure it out. And I'm just wondering, for example, do they even know what it is? And at the same time, is it better just to call it in general, like for that phone? So he basically said, if I'm not mistaken too, as I was recording everything, he said if I actually just wanted to take the phone back right there and then he wouldn't have charged me anything. So that would have been kind of, I guess, good in a way. It seems like they're being honest. That kind of made me think, okay, maybe I should trust him and just let him have it for a bit longer because he says he sees hope in potentially saving it. So the dilemma right now is I kind of need a phone, a good one anyways, to do a lot of the work and stuff that I do. And so I'm thinking, what is my choice? Is basically buy a good phone for the time being, whereas with that, I don't know if it's going to be dead. So do I make an actual investment for a higher quality phone or just try to get something that's good enough? And one option I saw was I could actually go through my carrier and they have a promotion where I could actually just sign up for 2 years and get the Pixel 9 phone for about $100. That phone is usually like $1,000, and from the sounds of it, it sounds pretty decent. The only stipulation is, again, I just have to sign a 2-year contract for a rate that I'm actually paying already, and I actually get a pretty good rate from that company because I'm on like their loyalty plans and all that. The only thing bad why I need more power is because I actually need to run certain applications and I do screen recordings, for example. And so I need something a bit more powerful than just your standard, for example, browse the internet, watch YouTube type of phone. And at the same time, that other one that I was using, the S23 Ultra, I was actually using that primarily as my higher quality camera footage too. So that makes it even more of, I guess, a downer not to have something like that as well. So that's why I was kind of debating whether or not that phone would actually be appropriate. So for now, I basically still left it at that shop just to see if anything would actually come up, because what am I going to do with it overall? Although that is kind of weird anyways in terms of the results so far. And whether or not I should just, for example, sign the 2-year contract and get that Pixel phone, because that's the only one that has a big deal right now from what I've seen anyways, in terms of the cost and all that too. right. See you guys later.